Well, hello there, crackers, tweety tweets, and over on YouTube and all other social media platforms. It's one of those fucking really annoying, irritating lives from me, but you're the one sitting here watching. I'm the one doing the talking. So, yeah, we're here. Wow, can you believe it? We're actually entering into what will be one massive big 10-year vineyard, and today is the day that my own vineyard comes to an end. And for those who have been with me since 2010, namaste. I appreciate you, I love you, and thank you so much for all of the support for the last 10 years. For those who have been me before I went out in the media, then wow, that means you've been in my life for over 10 years, and I hope that you will be in my life for another 10 years, and I hope that our relationships will continue to flourish and grow and mature. For those of you who have been with me since the cradle, and I know that Neil, Daniel, and Andrew are still here. So hello to you guys. Hello to Andrew over in Australia, who I have known since I was in nappies. Because I'm on, it's a period. Right on my live. That's the sort of man that I wanted to marry, that does that while I'm on a live. There's blood in the toilet because I'm on a period. There you go, guys. I'm on a live. Why would anyone do that to me, hey? But we're getting used to it. So anyway, I know the journey for 2020 for me. Dean's solicitor has rang in today, so court is definitely on, which was always the plan from the beginning, as we know. So for me, 2012 is about holding people accountable for the consequences in my life. And I think one of the problems with going through being somebody who used to be a people pleaser and still have some of the traits of being a people pleaser, who doesn't want to just everybody to be happy, who doesn't want everybody to do well and thrive, and you know, I've always been like that, you know. And one of the challenges when I first ever went through therapy was that I had to learn to put myself first and put my own home in order, defrag and stuff like that. This is therapy from years ago. This is, you know, we're 10 years now, guys. We're 10 years. This has been 10 years. The time I went through therapy is probably the 10 years prior to that. Bloody hell, it would have been in 2000. So 20 years ago I was in therapy. And one of the journeys in putting yourself first is the moment you switch from any person who goes through any form of therapy, and that just basically means that you just realize that your life isn't quite where it is. You're looking around, like me right now. I look around myself right now and I think, what the fuck? Like, where's my big silver fridge? Where's my silver? I don't like white goods. Like, why would I have white goods in my home? I've never had white. I don't have white goods. I've always had silver or chrome or stuff. I banished white goods a long time ago. You know, my living room doesn't have anything to do with my identity. The bathroom, I have a love stencil, a love plaque in there. That's me. That's me. That's mine. That's something that represents. I remember once I said to my auntie Christine,
the love stencil's not yours.
I'm not talking. Excuse me, because I'm being told that this love is not mine. Yeah. I didn't even do that on a lie.
Oh, you're horrible. Oh, I thought you put the ones on the wall.
Yeah, because you'd do that to me, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Very supportive of me, aren't you? This is mine, brought 10 years ago when I wanted to search for my husband. Brought as the gift Yeah, this was the gift 10 years ago. I do love these people. I'm so getting used to being gaslit and narked. And anyway, on my live, raw and real, you see why I'm such an arse sometimes with people. People might start getting it soon. I think this year is going to unfold in such a way that is going to be beautiful. One of the greatest things that the Queen said on her Queen's speech was looking at her father and knowing that he couldn't tell anybody what was going to be going on. They had to live knowing full well that they couldn't release certain information, because if you have a bunch of narcissist people and narcs around you, look, it's a spiritual battle. Forget these words, narcs, yeah? Angels and demons, that's all we're up against. Simple as that, yeah? Give them whatever name, whatever label, whatever. They were vampires, cheerleaders, right? But I'm a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful radiant being, and I know this. And it's not wrong to look in the mirror and go, now I know full well I've got a top on I would never wear. This, not me. Yeah, yes, I like my knees out of my jeans. No, I would never wear tight fitted jeans. And fucking black Ugg boots, no, put them in a bin. I hate them. Yeah. So for literally 4.5 years I have lived. I went 4.5 years ago, as people know, I was on Downing Street. 4.5 years ago, I was a woman on my own. I left my son with his dad and I went off to go to London to get help. And I came into this world. Obviously, in 2010, I went into the media. I knew what my intentions was. I knew what I was about. I knew why I was doing it. The articles that the media wrote doesn't represent why I was doing what I was doing. It got caught up between the editor of the Daily Mail and the editor of the Chorley Guardian. And they went off and they battled with each other, pretty much just using this mother of 4 children who had built a business and who was really excited and who didn't have anybody to celebrate with, no family popping out the fucking champagne on my business launch ceremony, nobody around me. I was just the crazy woman in the clubs at night, literally writing on napkins while my friends were dancing and stuff. And I was sitting in the VIP lounge with a pen and a napkin coming up with ideas on how I could support my fucking kids. You know, I couldn't be, I was working, I was in a club, not because I was out dancing and stuff, I was working, I was getting paid money to go home to actually put food on my children's table. Because no, the government doesn't support everybody on benefits. Not everybody is entitled to government benefit. Not everybody is entitled to fucking help from this country. Not everybody is entitled to anything. It's not about fucking entitlement. It is about whether you are deemed a vulnerable or an outcast of society. They're quite happy to throw you 250 quid once a month to fucking go and inject yourself with a good bunch of fucking heroin. They don't mind you going and killing that out on fucking an ounce of fucking weed, because they want you out the way. Yes, because you are a drain to fucking society. Yes. Do you really think that the fucking royals and the government give a fucking shit about Kelly Cottam and Aaron and Faith and their children and their trauma? Do you really give a fuck? Do you think they do? Now, I do know that Boris Johnson, and I do know that, what's his name? The 2 other people, I do know they watch. I do know that their wives and their families and their cousins and their uncles, we all know that Boris's dad, Hilaire, you know, follows sometimes and roots sometimes. So at the end of the day, when I first ever put Step Up Britain out, the first ever post that I put was, what if we all cared? What would happen if we all actually cared? If people did actually care about the fact that I've just had to walk away from a man of 67, I think Graham is. He has no electric up in his house right now. He is shaking and going through a detox of alcohol because he doesn't have the funds to feed his alcohol. He's no electric, right? I had to walk away from that man knowing I can't go and put electric on. I really want to. I desperately just want to go and put a key and put it in. But Graham will not fall if people keep supporting him and cradling him and putting him up and doing this and keeping his alcohol fucking going. Yeah? He will not do it. You would. So what if a mate goes and gives him 20 quid to put electric on and tenner for a fucking drink? Is it going to help him? No.
He's a 60, 70-year-old man.
But he needs electric.
That should know better,
right?
That should keep a control of his own drinking habits and
Agreed.
everything else.
Agreed.
So stop pitying people, mate. Do you understand me? The reality is, mate, you're a 60-year-old man. You should have got your shit together by now.
My friend Mandy said to me when I got into a relationship with Aaron and Faith's dad, she said, how old is he? And I said, he's 37. She went, no. She said, if people haven't done it by 35, they'll never fucking do it. And this belief system has existed for a long time. If you haven't got your shit together and built your life and achieved everything by 35, you never will. If you don't make that mark. So basically, from the cradle to the grave, being that was what I first started doing stuff about. You're born. Now you go to nursery at 2. You go to school at 4. You go to the prep school at 4. Then you go into I don't know if it's primary now, academy. I need to have a look in the education bills plans for what they're going to be labeling everything, calling. Sorry, Gestalt psychology if you want to get pro. And then you will go into high school. And then when you are 11, you will choose your options. So you will then say, hey, I'm an 11-year-old, and when I grow up, I want to be. And you will then choose those options, and those options will then bring you out. But those options only come from the core curriculum, right? Now, those options, compare the options between state and private school and see who's got more options. So straight away, if private school has got more options than state school, then straight away we've got a divide already in how people achieve total wholeness and well-being, isn't it? So please, for anybody who's into symbols, I'm not deliberately doing a symbol or anything here. You know, you can create it into whatever you want. It's just wrists and body language. It's actually the same thing. So for those who interjected, yes, I am on my period. Has Dean clearly announced to everybody that there was blood in the toilet? Why is there? Seriously, that's really got me. That is probably one of the most annoying things you could ever like
it's just
do.
a bit weird. It's just a bit
So
weird.
it's like,
you just come down from upstairs and I just see blood everywhere, and I'm just thinking, well, what's going on?
blood everywhere. There isn't blood everywhere.
It's all over the toilet. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it was in the
I just thought
toilet.
you might hurt yourself. It's just a general thing, you know. I didn't know.
Well, if I'd hurt myself, I would be going, Dean, I've got to go and see a doctor.
Didn't know it was time of the month, did I?
Should we talk about the time of the month while we're here? Yes? Time of the month. It's the time when every single woman in the world is legally allowed to stab their fucking husbands and get away with it, right? It's called premenstrual tension. Yes? Men out there, learn it, understand that we are on a cycle. We are women. Yeah? Don't try denying it, pushing away nature, saying you're mad, you're crazy, you. Yeah? It's called a period. Yes? It's how you're born. Yes, it's how people come into the world through my menstruation. Yes, I either bleed or have a baby. Simple as that. That's what happens. We, the women, we are cycles of beings that could. Can you tell that I'm feeling really fucking agitated and annoyed right now? Now, the question is, do we class this as mental health? And this is the point that I wanted to get to about New Year and 10-year cycles and therapy and all of the different topics of conversation, social care, policing, the hospitals, the education system, your mum, your dad, your nan, your granddad, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, and the cousins you fucked and the cousins you didn't fuck, you know, the second cousins, 5 coven, 9 covens, whatever. We were born from Adam and Eve, and wherever it goes from there, and bloodlines and stuff like that. And, you know, actually, we're all made of exactly the same blood. Oh dear. But then us humans want to create labels, and we want to put things in nice little fucking boxes, don't we? And we want to tick these boxes, and everybody has to sit somewhere in this box. Now, are you a male or are you a female? That's okay. That's a very easy one. He has a penis and I have a vagina. My son has a penis. This person has a penis. This person has a vagina. Very easy. We can separate us into males and females immediately now, can't we? Not a problem, that's easy. Male toilets over there, female toilets over there. Never the twain shall meet. Right hand doesn't talk to the left. And actually, we now want to create a war between these two people, don't we? We want to create an atmosphere between these two genders, don't we? Because actually, we've got to now make sure that we can match every male and female together to make sure that they can procreate with their children, in the right children, and live happily ever after in a world of 6-7 million billion people. Hey, potluck, hey? Daddy doesn't come and get his daughter anymore and take her to a ball to pick her fucking husband, and off she goes and lifts the veil and hallelujah. That's the man that's the woman you're going to spend the rest of your life with. That's the man that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and you're going to stick together through thick and thin. And by the way, it was the Queen who wrote the words, not the Bible. The Queen herself wrote into the vows about obey. It was the Queen who wrote it, not the Bible. Marriage and the vows do not come from the Bible. Thou shalt leave her father and mother to be with her husband. It did not then say that she had to obey him and be beaten down and drained and stuff. The woman is not fit for the kitchen to do the... Sorry, actually, there wasn't kitchens once. There was a stove. And actually, the men cooked and the women went out and hunted. Like penguins, yes? The penguins, the male penguin. Here is the egg of the baby, of the penguin. The male penguin sits on the egg, and he sits there and he stays there, and it is the female penguin that chunkers out and goes and gets everything for the fish all ready for when the baby comes back. And then when it's cracking, daddy gets off the egg and all of a sudden hops and everything is there, and you know, that's it. Now, so now we've got an issue here in society. So why can't dads? Well, actually, they can't carry the baby, can they? No. We need mum to carry the baby. My Uncle John always said, Kelly, you've got childbearing hips. Watch out. Many men will want to impregnate you. I never understood what he meant until now. And I get it more than ever now. We are not taught about relationships. We are not taught about communication. We are not taught about emotions and feelings. Sorry to anybody who knows. I'm waiting for my penguin egg to be hatched. I'm sat on an England football, and my signal's better down there anyway. So, you know, we are not given these tools and skills of life, and boundaries is something that is only really new and fad and cushy to talk about, and things like that. Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah, actually, I'll get him to get a hold of, see if they can put it on for him. And I can't think where I was going with that now. I just got distracted reading a comment. But we are basically, people have gone along with the Bible. So the Bible has been the education tool for generations and generations and generations. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about a whole new generation now. We're talking that we're going into 2020. I mean, how many people remember the big millennium bug and, hey, the world's all going to end in 2000 and all this bullshit and stuff like that. And who remembers the film 2020 and all this sort of thing? You know, there is no truth, really. There are really no truths. Everything really is a lie. Everything is our perception. Everything is our, you know, when did this, what's this? Is it a welly? No, that's not actually a welly. Is it a boot? Well, yes, you could call it a boot. Snowshoe. So things get created and put into a name and branding because they need to be sold, and that's what the world is we're living in. We're living in a world that is basically a marketing TV. And I was just talking to someone while I was going on one of my DIMP runs, and yes, I don't mind DIMP running with my nice little troll the other day, talking about my DIMPs. And do you really think that I am bothered after what I have been through these last 4.5 years, that I have been a right-wing, lesbian, feminist, pagan, paedophile? And you all know, because it's all been put all over me fucking social media. There's nothing to deny. I'm not the one telling you. It's people putting it on my social media telling you. So the 2 days trolling that I've just had, yeah, you know, so be it. And am I a crackhead? No. Am I a smackhead? No. Do I rob old grannies? No. Do I fuck old men? No. Am I out raping and pillaging people? No. Do I sell drugs? No. Am I popping fucking pills left, right and centre? No. Am I out there kicking the shit out of things? No. Am I out trashing and vandalising things? No. Am I out smashing people's cars up? No. Am I out doing insurance frauds? No. Am I out scamming people with my sofa on my frauds? No. Am I out there freaking dodging tax? No, because I don't currently work at the moment, and I have dodged tax because now we're getting into things where people are causing harm to me. Yeah. One thing about being very forgiving is within this system is that what you do is you let things go, and people will go, let it go, let it go, let it go. That's not a good thing to do. Sometimes you have to take direct action. Sometimes you do have to write that complaint. Sometimes you do have to go into court, but it's intimidating. And I've sat here for 4.5 years since I got ripped out of court, because I didn't just get ripped out of Downing Street, did I? I got ripped out of the Supreme Courts, the courts of justice. I just disappeared. Yeah, my next filing motion into court, and I just disappeared. Yeah, nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a damn that I was in the middle of a fucking court case. Nobody cared. Nobody freaking gave a shit. There's me. I'm just going, no, please, please. You know, how can you explain to anyone telling you to shut the fuck up? How can you have a time to sit? You get 5 minutes with a GP. You can't explain to a GP in 5 bloody minutes where you're up to in your life, how you're feeling, what's going on, what you're dealing with. I don't have mental health. I'm fucking stressed. Can you not see? I'm stressed. I have a stress rash on my belly. I have a stress rash down my face. I'm stressed. And I'm stressed because I got idiots in there taking me to court because of bloody boys and exes that freaking were taking kids, who punished me for 4.5 years since being bloody pregnant. Whose children is it? And am I going to take them off it? And I've had to live with that for 4.5 fucking years, just as everybody's had to live with me with, are they going to take my kids off me? I've had 7 fucking years. 7 years of this court shit going on. 7 years. Well, I'm going back this year to finish it. 10 fucking years later. This is my year. Him in there, I ain't scared of him. I don't care if he stands in front of me and says your forced adoption's done. I don't care if he stands in front of me and says I work for the state, I work for the police. I don't care if people go eye to eye, face to face, nose to nose. I don't care if these council people out there want to... Actually, they're being nice today. Council being really fucking nice to me today. In fact, the council actually came and did what they were meant to do today for somebody like me. And they actually took Graham and took him down in the lift. The moment they saw him come into my floor, they were the ones who come and asked me. And I said no. So they took him down and out of the step. Now nobody's allowed to knock on my door. I'm a protected door now because they have my diagnosis. Now we're under disability law. Now people are going to see the abuse that they've been causing to an EDS Asperger's mother, creating trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma, to a mother that used to, not a mother, a child, who used to walk around punching herself in the head when people wouldn't listen, yeah? Who's had to train herself, who's had to deal with it herself, who's had to deal with her life herself. I've had to deal with my physical conditions myself. I've had to deal with understanding Asperger's myself, labels, people's surnames. I have had to deal with my battle of suicide myself. I have had to deal with my depression myself. I have had to deal with the day that I popped into this fucking world in that hospital. If anybody wants to just comment, say, have I lost connection? It's now saying it's trying to connect me again. If Amber is around, if you can just drop in there and say connection still exists your side, then I will remain. If you don't, and then I will cut off. And I think I have said enough on this live for today. Let's just say somebody taught me. Don't take my silence for weakness. I saw this coming. In fact, I was given evidence this was coming. And I ain't stupid. Unless somebody drops down to say that you can still actually see me, then I'm going to sign off and I will be back on this afternoon. We were having a family New Year's, but obviously Dean had become my enemy the moment the solicitor called him this morning. And now I will not be focusing on a nice New Year's kiss and going into New Year with my family. I know full well that I am preparing for being a working mother, working single mother, and I'm going to be damn good. And if Dean wins and has the kids, then I'm sorry, I wasn't in a game, and I'm not in to take kids from anybody. In fact, for 4.5 years, every email and every communication has all been about your kids need you here. Kids need you now. Your kids need you. Yeah, and I can be a cunt, yeah, because you came into a life of a woman who was very vulnerable, in a bad place, and I had a solicitor. I had a solicitor's assistant, which was his son. I had a home. I had a safe place, and I didn't have that all the way through. I had a legal team, and I had 2 days. I have not been to court since that date. And all I'm going to be doing now is focusing on the boys obviously going down to Preston Gymnastics School, and that's where they're going to be going. And there's creche facilities, and they've got gym and everything down there. So that's where we're going to be building our life here in Preston, building from the gym, because obviously the boys were born here. Sorry, not Preston, Portsmouth. The boys were born here. So if Shiloh is going to go elite, then why not go elite from where he's born, and he still gets to travel the world. So and I'll be his coach. I offered to be Dean's. He doesn't want me, and so I will be the boys, and maybe find a couple of clients and do well. So and anyway, Dean can't afford me, and I need to make money. So I shall catch you later. See you on the other side. Bye.